One, giving all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rokakdash. And Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father's true name, whom the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahushai is the name of the Heavenly Father's Son's name, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Giving double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and shalom unto the elect. This message is to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and the scattered Israelites scattered all around the nations in the world. And going to today's lesson, we go into this there's this news where Trump has laid off this federal agency Noaa, and he has laid off a lot of workers over there, and they are warning that laying them off or bringing cuts to this agency would bring a lot of disaster and trouble to people around the world. And I go into this small synopsis where it reads: Noaa is an agency that enriches life through science. Our reach goes from the surface of the sun to the depths of the ocean floor as we work to keep the public informed of the changing environment around them. And the only one who enriches life is Yahweh Ba'asham and Yahushai. And these devils are so proud, thinking that they can enrich people's life, not knowing it's the Lord that's making them so. And they go continuing from daily weather forecasts, severe storm warnings, and climate monitoring to fisheries management, coastal restoration, supporting marine commerce. Noaa's products and services support economic vitality, affect more than 1/3 of America's gross domestic product. And this is an organization that supports weather forecasts. They warn people ahead of any natural disasters that are coming up. And so with this Trump trying to curtail or cut off these federal workers, it only means that the warnings or the alert that this agency will be able to put out will be less, and that will mean a lot of people's lives will be at risk. And this is part of the perilous times that the Messiah has warned us about. And I go about this by playing this video over here. It's lacking for a moment. The internet again is acting up. All right.
Hundreds of staffers at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, also known as NOAA, were laid off last week as part of the Trump administration's efforts to cut the federal workforce. Staffers were considered probationary employees, meaning they were hired within the last 2 years. The White House said employees with critical jobs within NOAA were not affected, but sources within the agency disputed that to CBS News, saying some meteorologists, including radar specialists and members of the Hurricane Hunters crews, were cut. Alan Seals joins us now for more. He's an adjunct professor at the University of South Alabama and is the president-elect of the American Meteorological Society. Alan, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
The American Meteorological Society released a statement saying these firings are likely to cause, quote, irreparable harm and have consequences for public safety. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, most people know NOAA as the National Weather Service. That's really where the public first understands what NOAA is. Now, that's just a small part of NOAA. However, within the National Weather Service, scattered throughout the country, you have local offices that forecast local weather. If we're seeing cuts at those offices,
Anyway, let's see whether I can play the video again. The internet connection here is really bad, and so it's the reason why it's not playing to the best.
Hundreds of staffers at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration
Yeah, most people know NOAA as the National Weather Service. That's really where the public first understands what NOAA is. Now, that's just a small part of NOAA. However, within the National Weather Service, scattered throughout the country, you have local offices that forecast local weather. If we're seeing cuts at those offices, just like any other facility, if you lose a certain number of people, it means the people who are left are going to have to work harder and do more with overall fewer resources. It also means from a technical standpoint, if, for example, the local radar in your community goes down, a technician has to be called in. I don't know that that's where some of the cuts have been, but the more you cut, the less likely the Weather Service is able to keep up with not just daily weather, but just think about what we dealt with last year. Wildfires in California. In December, there is a tremendous fog accident in southern Louisiana near New Orleans. Now we're in a scenario going across the next several days where we've got severe weather moving from the Central Plains across the Gulf Coast to the Northeast. And whether you're looking on TV, whether you're looking at a weather app or getting data directly from the National Weather Service, the bottom line is NOAA is the foundation of all of these forecasts that you get from multiple sources.
I mean, I'm one of those people who's sort of weather obsessed. I talk, it's what my parents and I talk about. It's what I talk about with anybody. This is what the weather is. So that's sort of like the cheeky everyday way that I interact with the weather. But as you mentioned, there are such more serious complications like those fog alerts and things like that. I mean, do you worry for the nation's ability to prepare for extreme events?
Oh, without a doubt. I've been a meteorologist for all of my career, almost 37 years on TV, working a lot with the National Weather Service and other NOAA employees. The Weather Service, and I'm not just saying this because I know these people, these are dedicated people who are passionate about the science of meteorology, about helping their communities. These people, even with cuts, they're going to keep on working because it is a mission. It's almost a calling for many of them to serve their communities. However, there comes a point where if you remove resources, things will likely suffer. Now, that's on a good day, but just imagine going into severe weather season, going into hurricane season. Everyone sort of takes the forecast for granted. Yeah. And even if you're getting it from a private company or watching a TV station on cable or satellite, without NOAA's input to that information, there would be so far fewer protective measures that our communities can take. And I can guarantee you, tonight, tomorrow, for example, emergency managers across the Southeast are watching NOAA's data so they can prepare their communities.
So that's sort of the today and tomorrow aspect, but I want to ask you about long term. What is NOAA's role in predicting climate change and staving it off? And do you worry these firings could have a negative impact there too?
Yeah. And I'll start with a short story. I teach a broadcasting course at the University of South Alabama. My students, after class this past week, we talked for a half hour about, and most of them are meteorology majors, about what their future is within what we call the weather enterprise, which is meteorology, it's climatology, it's hydrology, it's private industry, academia, government. And right now they're scared. And this is not even the employees. This is the pipeline for the next generation of people who will continue to help us model the atmosphere, measure the atmosphere, create AI models that will be better at forecasting and ultimately communicating the weather. So right now, for them, the future is scary because of what's happening. And what's happening is something where there's no doubt any organization, any agency, any company can be trimmed down. But what we don't see is a pattern of here's what we're doing and here's what the outcome is likely to be. And here's where we are going to fill those gaps. I use the analogy that NOAA, the Weather Service, it's sort of like a human body. There are certain parts you can remove, like the tonsils, the appendix, the wisdom teeth. But if you just go in and start taking parts out without a plan for how you're going to put it back together, there could be some serious dangers down the line.
We appreciate that analogy, and I'm sure that you are those students' favorite professor. Alan Seals, come back and see us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so you seen the video there, and this is another synopsis. That's just asking for disaster to happen once fired NOAA worker. So this means so clearly is going on a rampage, and a lot of people will die as a result of this layoffs, Lord willing. And going to Revelation 12 verses 12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down to you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And so he needs to accelerate his new world order plan, that is order out of chaos in order to implement his or bring about his new world order. And verses 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, and when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And so I can see those fired NOAA workers clearly are mourning about their job losses, and not only in that federal agency, other federal agencies too. There have been a lot of layoffs as well. And I go into Proverbs 28 verses 15. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. And Esau truly is unjust. His ways are not righteous at all. He is ruling in wickedness by firing all those people just for what? But hey, this is the Lord's punishment upon the the F, so we shouldn't be surprised at all. And so I read this concluding precept. Psalm 17 verses 13. Arise, O Yahweh Basham Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And so all we can hope is the hopeful elect can hope that we hope for the Lord to have mercies on us and to deliver us from Esau's rampaging, because it's not a small thing that's going to come upon the face of the earth. Many people will be killed as a result of this red man's madness. And so I conclude this lesson by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham, Rokakdash, Shalom unto the elect. Shalom.